we are back, and I apologize for the length of time it took us to get back to this, but we are on track again. We're going to do our very best to get you as many of the CMON Marvel Zombie characters with done, fully painted, and explanations for their characters and what they can do for you in the game. As always, we're going to be looking at 3 sections today. We're going to be looking at ranged options, augmentation options, elimination options. And the first one we're going to look at today is Dr. Strange. Now, Dr. Strange is a range 0 to 1, 2 on a 3. That's always what I prefer because I have terrible luck. Blue skill allows us to discard a draw and pick a new one for a spawn for the cost of 1 hunger. That is a pretty fantastic ability. His orange ability lets us increase its hunger to pick a range that is the same amount that the hunger is increased by and remove all the troopers in a zone within that range. That is a gnarly power that is excelling in elimination and augmentation, I would argue. Now, this power, I think, is at some point going to spark a little bit of interest in the community because I would interpret this as if you would increase your hunger by 0, then you would be able to select a zone 0 away, being the one you're standing in, and still remove all the troopers in it. I figure for a character that is this specialized, it seems only fair to let him be awesome, and that's the way I'm going to run it until I see something that proves otherwise. Now, his red skill leaves us in an interesting place. So, being able to freely devour someone within that range in exchange for free action is pretty gnarly, but considering that the power of this character comes from hunger management, that is going to be vital because you're always going to want to try to eliminate the troopers with the orange skill, and you're always going to want to keep at least 1 space available for the precognition in order to change what the spawn card draw is, because that's really the powerhouse of this particular character. Being able to control and manipulate what spawns, or at least have a better odds of it, is literally game deciding. You win and lose based on what comes on those spawn cards. Anything you can do to take some control of that is always going to be an A+ ability. Alright, and we have Captain Marvel. Now, Captain Marvel obviously is a zombie hero in this case. We have 2 dice on 3 up, always a good choice. She actually has a very similar ability to Winter Soldier. So every time she attacks, she gets to eliminate a trooper or specialist for free. So that guaranteed elimination is always good, especially as a blue skill to help control the specialists because they are incredibly dangerous. Now, her orange skill allows us to spend an action and get to move, ignoring enemies, to a place that has enemies and attack. So anytime you can combo in and make your single action more efficient, that is always a good thing. This is very similar to the jumping attack or charge that has been in Zombicide for a very long time. So it's not bad, it's not great, but it's not bad. Now, our red skill, each time you would suffer a wound from an enemy, you may instead increase hunger to prevent it. Now, being able to guarantee damage prevention is always nice. Unfortunately, I don't think that this is actually a very good red skill, because even if you've devoured in the last round, being able to just ignore up to 3 wounds sounds great, but most of the time in zombies, you will not have a 0 hunger, and it's very rare that it's a worthwhile trade-off, especially because the ravenous check occurs after the spawn, so it's entirely possible that you will end up catching that wound because you turned yourself ravenous trying to avoid a wound. And it's not a worthwhile trade-off situation, especially compared to the red skills of some of our other characters. So it's not a terrible character, but it's not a great character either.